Our trades are going on well, so we want to start with AUDUSD. Now, I uploaded these videos already on my YouTube. If you did not watch those videos, make sure you go and pick out. You may learn something from why we took this trade because it's very important. Not knowing why we took the trades is also not good for you. So now this is the AUDUSD trade that we took on Friday. And I'm also going to share a screenshot of how the trades are now running. This is AUDUSD trade that we took, and we are anticipating that the market would trade to this lower trend line, and if not, it could break and then continue to the downside. But you can see, ideally, the market woke today morning, it moved up and to retest the trend line, and you can see it is now rejected that trend line with something like a tweezer bottom, a tweezer top. And so we hope that this AUDUSD trade sale is going to continue. So once we break below this level, we are going to be sure that the market is going to be trading in our favor. So once it breaks below this level, it means we have already broken structure, and then we are hoping that it could trade to this low. At link minimum, we would take this trade to this level. This is the minimum we can take as a almost 3 risk to reward ratio, because we have to come to this psychological level, and also if it fits with this trending line, it could give us maybe a bounce off. But ideally, we want to consider looking for more sales on AUDUSD. Moving forward to USDJPY, USD that we have also taken. This entire breakdown was uploaded, so you can go and rewatch that video to see how it was able to put. So there's a video I'm going to put here to show us how, if you can go and rewatch it, you could be able to pick a leaf from it. So again, in the morning, if you did not enter from here like I did, there's a second chance that was given to us this morning, which is this candle rejecting the psychological level and also the trend line that was broken. And this is the best trade that we always trade, according to us. This is the best trade we take. So ideally, taking this trade at this point is actually the best point to take that trade. In fact, you could take that trade right now. The problem is now the stop loss is going to be a little bit higher. However, if you put your stop loss below this trend line and this low also below the psychological level, could give you something like maybe 40 pips of stop loss. And then we are also targeting this, so it could give you maybe a 1:2 risk to reward ratio. However, we want to really be sure that we want to trade to this higher level. This is the trend line that we're also going to be having, that is going to be another decision making. So if the market does not come to this area, we are likely not to make any decisions, any serious decisions so far, as far as USD is concerned. So the trade is moving on well, and we hope that it gives us what we want to see. Also, moving forward to GBP-USD. Now, GBP-USD broke below the trend line like we had said, and then came back to retest, but retested at the psychological level. You can see this test at the psychological level. And now the market is dropping as we anticipated it earlier. So maybe one thing we could be scared about is this level, because it could react off of that zone because it's a trend line. This trend line, remember, we talked about it already, that the market is likely to come and reject off of that, react at that point. And if it does, and then we break below this level, the next target zone is going to be this low. Preferably this psychological level, which is 1.35, going to be our next target. And if that reaches this level, then another decision should be made from this level. Of course, I'm going to keep us updated of what is going to be going on. If it breaks below this level, then we're going to have other targets at these lower levels. But ideally, this is another level that we should be watching out on GBP-USD to see how we can make our decisions of GBP-USD. Then moving on forward to gold, you can see gold has traded below. I really want to see it drop to this level, but there's a trend line here, which is giving us a third touch. So we could have a movement push to this upside and then reject this trend line again to give us now the sell that is going to give us on gold. So that's what we're going to be having on gold, and just be anticipating if it doesn't break below this trend line, then we want it to push back to this zone and then drop and give us another sell opportunity from around this level. And then finally, Euro USD is also doing what we have hoped for. The market has broken below this trend line and also below the psychological level, came back to retest the psychological level and the trend line, and then the market has reacted off of it and is dropping. So what we want to see is we want to see the market drop, and we have this trend line, don't forget, We talked about it and why it's going to be significant for us. Could come and react off of this trend line. If it comes and reacts from this level, then we want to take a buy position from here. But if it breaks below this trend line, then we want to see it dropping to the downside, preferably to these levels, and also maybe other swing points like this and other reaction points like this. So this is what we're going to be having right now for Euro US, and ideally maybe this is what we are going to be having for this time around. So keep updated. If you have not subscribed, ensure to subscribe. If you have not followed, make sure to follow, because this is going to help us to be keeping in touch as far as our trades are concerned. It's Dennis Cashpips again, and I would love to sign out for now. Bye.